On His Throne and By Your Side, written and narrated by Sister Charity Lombardo. 6 months ago, I had the privilege of seeing the Sydney Opera House with my own 2 eyes. The first glimpse I got was from the backseat of a car driving over the bridge into Sydney. And even from afar, it was stunning. Naturally, I gasped. There it was, like huge white fins jutting out of the sea in all different directions, just like in Finding Nemo. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before, and totally deserving of being in the top 10 most iconic buildings in the world, as it's often rated. But it got better, because a few days later, I got to see it up close, and then my mind was really blown. As I stood there in total awe, I realized this was not like Finding Nemo at all. There were so many things I couldn't see from afar, or in the cartoon movie. For one, this thing was intricate, and it wasn't actually white. It was covered in tons of little tiles, 1,056,006 to be exact, that were all varying shades of cream and pale blue. The kicker? They were all hand-placed, imagine? The whole thing took a whopping 14 years to build, and over 10,000 construction workers to pull off. Oh, and it was massive. We're talking 7 A380 jumbo jets could sit wing to wing on the site. True story, I Googled it. Unlike my faraway assumption of it being a quote-unquote decent-sized structure, it towered over me in ways I did not expect. The detail, thought, and care put into every inch was apparent, and I could not have seen that from the bridge. It was in that moment, looking up with my jaw on the ground, that I felt God make a connection to the way He looks at us. See, I sometimes figure He just cares about the big stuff. I wonder why God, who is, God, would be concerned with our tiny day-to-day human affairs, like when the one dryer in my apartment building breaks and I have to hang dry every last sock. Surely He looks at me in those moments saying, "Char, you'll survive." But He reminded me that God can see both our big picture and the millions of little tiles that make up our lives. And He actually cares about both. He cares about the house of Israel and you stubbing your toe. He cares about your soul's salvation and your dentist appointment on Tuesday. He cares about the missionary work in South America and your difficult boss. He cares about the addiction that's holding you back from Him and the traffic that's making you late. He cares about you finding purpose in the church and finding the Big Dipper. He cares about you understanding the real meaning of His parables and your surprise electricity bill. Big stuff, small stuff, and all varied size stuff in between, He cares. After all, He was human once, and for this exact reason. Maybe He didn't have traffic or electricity bills, though I'm sure He stubbed his toe here and there, #sandal life. But He knows what it takes to live this life. He isn't out of touch. He isn't distant. He isn't unconcerned. God knows you're a whole human. A whole, complex, multi-layered human with deep feelings and big dreams who also has to do their laundry. He didn't just create you to abandon you. He created you so that you two can get to know each other on a personal, detailed level. What I've learned from this opera house unexpectedly is, don't limit God. Don't pretend to know how He works or what He's concerned with. Don't assume He doesn't care about what you're going through, what you're about to go through, or what you went through 17 years, 3 months, and 9 days ago, because He does. Because even if we can't fathom it, He can sit by your side and on His throne at the exact same time. He can be with you while He's with me, while He's watching over the church. So whether you're trying to figure out the next big step in your walk with God, or how you're going to squeeze an oil change into your meeting-filled afternoon, know that He cares about both. Casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. 1 Peter 5:7.